We're here today with Jim Dunkerley. Jim Dunkerley's been around the tree care industry since he was old enough to breathe almost, and over 30 years, and that tells you he's pretty young. But he has a brand new spray truck, and in his own words, it's awesome.
Awesome, very
right?
awesome. Yes.
But there was a problem with it.
Yep.
I mean, it worked really great.
Yep.
But there is a 275-gallon tank on the truck. Basically, it's a 40-inch cube, so
right.
40 inches in every direction.
Right.
It's 275 gallons.
Right.
And well, tell us what you experienced before Surge Busters.
Okay. Well, before I got the Surge Busters, the biggest problem was when the tank would get anywhere from about 3/4 full down to about 1/4 full. If I went around corners, I had a lot of rocking. When I wasn't going around corners, I had a lot of rocking. When I was just driving down the highway, every time I hit a bump, the water would surge forward, hit the truck, the front of the tank, and then surge back and hit the back of the tank. So I'm driving down the road and I'm doing this. And then
Makes for a long day, doesn't
well,
it?
it does. And then if the road's a little uneven and you're going around a curve and then the outside dips away, the water goes before the truck does. So then it pulls the truck whichever direction it's going. And that's a little hairy. So, I mean, I'm a pretty good driver. I can park a tanker in a teacup. I mean, I've been doing this a long time.
Right.
But it's frightening. So I talked to Gary and I said, hey, I need some Surge Busters for this tank. Tell me how many I need. Ship them. So today I had probably between 200 and 225 gallons in there. And I had somebody decide to get in front of me when they were a little too close. So I had to hit the brakes pretty hard. And as I did, I kind of glanced at the tank behind me, and the water came up, and then went down, and up a little, and then down.
That was it?
That was it. That was all. And it was amazing how it kept this truck in one place. And then again, as I'm going around a curve, the tank's fairly full, I could watch it kind of go up on an angle, but not slant. It just kind of crept up. And then when I came back down flat, it crept back down but and didn't slosh at all. Just up and down and stopped. And darn if I know how those figure eights do that, but it doesn't matter because it works. It's amazing. It's probably about 8 or 10 different hydrodynamic physics processes.
Well, there's 6 that I know of.
6. Well, okay. Okay. So there's at least 6 hydrodynamic properties. None of which I understand, but it doesn't matter because they all work.
Now, what Jim has in this, because the IBC has a relatively small opening, smaller than a lot of other tanks used in our industry, so it's less than 5 inches.
Right.
And Jim has something new in these tanks because this is something we're just coming out with. This is our 4-inch diameter model. It's about 21 inches long or so.
Right.
And it just does what the big ones do.
Yeah,
Except it fits in a smaller hole.
I just dropped it in the hole. Because since it looks like 2 figure eights at 90 degrees to each other, you can actually squeeze them and make them smaller.
Yes.
Or you can squeeze them this way and make them fatter. So I didn't have to do that. I just squeezed them a little bit and dropped them right through the tank. And they just went in there, and I look in there and there's a pile of them in the bottom of the tank. I'm going, oh, golly, I hope this works. Well, it did. And because they kind of interlock.
Yes.
As they roll around in there, they kind of interlock, and that interlocking helps slow the water down as it moves. Well, they also float.
Yes.
So when you fill that tank all the way up, I looked in the top of the tank before I put this fertilizer in there. I looked at the top of the tank, and there's some of them right there at the top.
Right.
And as I look down through the water, they're at various levels going down through the water, and they're interlocking as they go.
Right.
Some are like this, some are vertical, some are horizontal, but they're all kind of touching each other.
And they keep changing.
Yeah, and they move around, and they bump into each other, and all that energy gets expelled in that instead of hitting the sides of my tank.
Right.
And because of that, I don't go off the road and have bad things happen.
And you feel a little bit safer.
Oh yeah, very much safer.
And it's just more pleasurable driving this truck. With
well, it's a
only half
lot
the tank.
easier to drive the truck, and I'm not as tired when I get done at the end of a long day.
So bottom line, Jim?
Oh, they're worth every dime.
Right.
Worth every dime. Yeah, I've driven big trucks with baffles in there. They're supposed to do the same thing.
Right.
Well, the problem is when the water hits the baffle, it's still hitting the tank because
Yes.
it's attached to the
Yes.
tank. It doesn't really stop the surge. It just kind of slows the water down.
Mm-hmm.
But the mass of water is still hitting the tank, so you still feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you can hit the brakes and you'll feel it, but it's only about half what it normally is. And it's kind of a soft push. I've never experienced anything like it.
But you like it.
I do love it. Matter of fact, next year we're going to put them in our big spray truck,
Okay.
in the big tank. Well, actually the big tank, the 350-gallon tank and the 200-gallon tank.
Okay, and you are
Jim Dunkerley with Tree King Tree Service.
in
Ohio.
Columbus.
Ohio.
Okay. Jim, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Safe driving.
Thank you.
A lot safer now, huh?
Oh, that's safer now.
Okay.
All right.